The following is an exclusive presentation of WI Garden Media, the voice of Garden Talk Radio. Coming up on the program today, we're going to talk about lawn care in the fall, as well as the history of ketchup. Our guest is Erika Nolan will be with us, and we'll answer your garden questions. The hour is full, so join us.
You are listening to the most informationally packed hour of garden-focused radio in the country and on the internet with your host, husband and wife team Joey and Holly Baird. This is the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
And welcome to another week and another edition of the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. I'm your host, Joy Baird. Beside me is my wife, co-host, best friend, and gardening partner,
Holly Baird.
This program is for you, about you, to help your garden grow better, to maintain your landscape, grow healthier trees, make your grass look greener, as well as preserving what you grow. Happy you've taken time out of your day to join us on the program. Whether you're listening to us on one of the 20 AM and FM frequencies broadcasting our program here in 2023, through a radio app, through our parent website, which is the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, underneath the Season 7 tab at the top of the page, in-studio video replay on YouTube, or podcast replay on your favorite podcast platforms. Just search the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show, and we come up in places we didn't know existed. If you want to be part of the program, you can certainly do such by sending us an email to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com, or you can give us a call, toll-free, coast to coast, at 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469. As fall is rapidly approaching, and soon those hot days that you are complaining about will no longer exist, and then you'll complain about the snow, there are some things in which we need to do to our lawn in order to get it prepared for fall, winter, and then the coming spring.
Yeah, absolutely. So you do want to do fall lawn care, and a lot of people, I think, either they miss this step, or they don't think about it, or
burnt out.
They're burnt out. Yeah, they're burnt out from maybe taking care of other things in their garden. Who knows? But one of the things that you want to do, and I feel like personally,
tell us how you feel.
I feel okay. So the first step is to remove the leaves, but I feel like if you don't remove the leaves, what is it going to hurt?
It will prevent the sun, because even though it is getting cool, the plants still are green and they require photosynthesis from the sun. So by having that smothered out, it's just like leaving a board on the grass for 2 or 3 weeks. When you remove that board or take it back off the grass, that grass is very yellow and some of it's already dead. It is such a dependency on the sun. So even leaving those heavy oak leaves or maple leaves or whatever it is on the ground for even a couple of weeks, if you are very concerned about having very lush lawn and not dead areas or discolored areas, that's why you need to remove the leaves. Now, we're not talking that you see one, you need to run out and get rid of it, but on a regular basis as the leaves are falling. You see these people, and some people will joke about it. Well, half the tree still has leaves on them, and they've raked all the leaves up off the lawn, and the next morning, that many more is on the ground. It's preventing the smotherization of the grass, because the grass does require sunlight.
But I guess what I'm thinking is that if the leaves fall and then it snows, it's not the worst thing.
Well, it depends on how much effort you have put into your lawn, the requirements potentially from where you live. HOAs or certain municipalities require a certain look in a community.
Okay, that makes sense. But let's also talk about the fact that lawns are kind of ridiculous.
True. Lawns are a tremendous amount of waste of energy, chemicals, water, fill in the blank. And I forget what the statistic is that how many hundreds of thousands of gallons of chemicals Americans spray on their lawns each year.
It's a lot. And also just using the water, utilizing the water. And yes, it makes sense.
And here's the thing. When people water, you can go down any town, USA, and you can at least pick out drive by 2 or 3 houses where the sidewalk is getting just as wet as the grass.
Right. Even you and I were at I don't know where we were, but the sprinkler was basically watering the light
we stopped
post.
at a fast food restaurant, and the sprinkler was watering a lot of the foundation of the light system and the sign. As it moved across, it very nicely cleaned the sign every about 2 minutes because it would just and hit the sign.
It was a very clean, clear sign.
Yeah, it's one of these inter-exit signs, so that
anyway,
somebody clearly either didn't know their job or didn't know how to do their job.
Or they didn't care.
Didn't care because it was a restaurant and get in and out and move on.
Right. So anyway, remove the leaves. So you want to keep cutting the lawn to the correct height.
Now, you can use your lawnmower as a mulching, and some lawnmowers are mulch, so you don't have to physically rake the leaves. You can mulch the leaves as you mow the grass.
Yes, you can do that. And that is a good idea because a lot of those mowers do that.
Mm-hmm. And it breaks down the particles and actually helps add nutrients to the soil. And you're saving a step.
That's a good solution. But you don't want to cut it as short.
Don't cut it short. You want to leave it 2.5 to 3 inches tall. And you may think that's awful tall, but that's kind of where you want your lawn to be at to begin with, because it's got to absorb the sun in order to photosynthesize. And if you cut it too short, you're stressing the plant out and taking a longer recovery time, and you're going to potentially kill out the weaker ones. So you want to cut it high.
You do.
Higher than what you think.
You also want to cut it not too high because it can get matted, and that could cause possible mold or what's the other word I'm looking
for?
Fungi.
Because it can't get the air circulating around it. It just is like a wet towel on the floor of a basement that's left there for too long. You get that musty smell.
Right. And that makes sense because fall can be a damp time too.
Oh, it's heavy dews. We went camping where we thought it rained, but it was just a dew that was on everything, so thick and heavy. Continued water.
Right. So you want to continue to water. So this is so that even though there's more rain, there's more dew. The dew point usually is sooner in the day than summer. You want to keep it watered, and it just helps keep it healthy, essentially.
Now, there's nothing wrong with having a nice lawn. There is ways of having a nice lawn without the maintenance, the chemicals, the high level of meticulous manicuring that some people use on their lawns. You can have a nice lawn, have a few weeds in it, make it more of a natural lawn, and be good with it.
I mean, it is. I can understand if you're going to have small children or yourself walk on that lawn a lot.
Yeah, you want to
get a lot of time on
you
the
don't
lawn.
want the thistles in it.
Right. No, you don't want gross thistly lawn. I know
Right.
for me, I like to walk around barefoot a lot. If I'm walking on a thistly lawn, that's not enjoyable at all. So I get it. But at the same time, it is seen by many people as kind of a waste in a way when you have like that perfect manicured lawn. So you I feel like you have to kind of think about what your purpose is, and maybe perhaps having, if you have a larger yard, having a portion that is a nice lawn, and then having another portion that's maybe utilized for something else.
More natural.
Yeah.
Loosening the soil, a core aerator would be the correct tool for this. And if you choose to do this, you want to do this every couple of years. And what it does, it removes certain diameter of soil and throws it up on the soil, up on the top of the grass to allow moisture, fertilization, and hydration and air into the soil to loosen it up. And so it's not such a dense block of soil. And this can help root development as well.
I think a lot of people who have a lot like clay soil utilize this a lot too.
Also, thatching wouldn't help. It wouldn't hurt either. Thatching is the removal of dead vegetation beneath the level of the grass that can also put a barrier that prevents hydration or absorption of moisture and fertilization. That fertilizer sets on top of that dead grass and material and can't get to the roots where it is needed.
Yeah, and you can thatch in the fall or the spring. So that is an option either way. You want to feed your lawn in the fall. I know that a lot of lawn experts say this. You feed your lawn in the fall. It helps, it gets those nutrients in there. And then it's something about the sugars of the grass, they absorb those nutrients.
Okay. You want 24,010 is good number to go off of to feed your lawn to get it ready to go into dormancy over winter. And this is also a good time if you have areas to seed. You can seed it. You're also potentially there's probably sales at your local independent garden center on sod if you would rather go that way and sod the area instead of waiting for the seeds to germinate and do that route there. So there's a number of ways in which you can help your lawn, or if you have a dead area that continues to not want to grow very well, you can certainly figure out why, or if it's kind of in a partial shade area, and you might want to turn it into some type of landscape in which can support life in that area, such as a plant that may only like a certain amount of light that the grass is not growing. Or the composition of the soil is all messed up for whatever reason. If somebody dug a cistern there or a well or buried something or dug something up and all the soil levels are all disturbed and before you even got there and you don't realize that it's all clay on the top because they filled the hole in backwards or whatever.
Does this happen a lot?
It can. People in landscaping, whenever people are burying some type of something or another, septic tank, that would be a horrible thing to have that close to the house. But in that type of mindset that they backfill and they just throw the soil back in, somebody moves in, they don't know why that area is constantly not growing because the soil is all disturbed and out of whack.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah,
so
out of whack.
Out of whack.
Okay, so the other thing is you want to stay on schedule, something that you want to make sure you keep on top of. Fall after fall, do your lawn care, do what you need to do. You might think, oh, snow's going to be here soon, but if you do the work now, you'll have a nice luscious lawn come spring. So with that being said, it is the time of year where we deal with canning and all sorts of fun things like freezing, preserving our food. And Walton's, we're brought to you today by Walton's Inc. At Walton's, you can get all the equipment, seasoning, and supplies to make sausage, jerky, and any other meat product your way to your high standards. You want to make snack sticks that people actually like. Walton's created meatgistics.com, an informational site to help you make the best finished product. Walton's even has their own line of meat grinders, mixers, and sausage stuffers to help you go from animal to edible. Walton's everything but the meat. You can use code GROW50 to save 10% off your orders of $50 or more at waltonsinc.com.
Hang out with us when we come back. It's the history of ketchup. And ketchup, I'll just tease it, is not what it once was. You're tuned in to the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
Got a question for Joey and Holly? Send it via email anytime to gardentalkradio@gmail.com.
Grip 6 produces American-made products with sleek designs and quality materials. Based and manufactured in Utah, they have high-quality and durable products that last a lifetime. They're built beyond tough. Their wool socks come from Rocky Mountain-sourced materials, are soft and comfortable, keep your feet warm and dry, and come with a lifetime guarantee. Even for the most sensitive toes, these socks are made for everyone. High-quality wool socks make a huge difference for happy feet. They fit in with all the many things you do from around the house to the outdoors and beyond. They are comfortable and long-lasting. These socks are great for gardening because they keep your feet so comfortable no matter the conditions outside. It's hard to overstate how amazing these feel to have warm, dry feet as you work in your garden. Designed and manufactured in-house for the best results and quality every time. When you purchase from Grip 6, you're supporting long life cycle products and American-made manufacturing. Check out their belts, wallets, and socks at grip6.com. Use coupon code RADIO15 to save 15% off your order at grip6.com. Pomona's Universal Pectin is a high-quality pectin that gels reliably with low amounts of any sweetener. If you're trying to reduce the amount of sugar in your diet, you'll love Pomona's Universal Pectin. Now you can make healthy homemade jams and jellies sweetened to your taste. You can use sugar or honey to sweeten. Pomona's Universal Pectin keeps indefinitely when stored in an airtight container. Easy to use, versatile, and comes with directions and recipes in every box. Find out more and where to buy at PomonaPectin.com. Also available at natural food stores and online.
Hi, I'm Russell Taylor with Live Earth Products. I'm a soil health expert here to help you. Live Earth Products specializes in soil conditioners and fertilizers that will help you build healthy and vibrant flower and vegetable gardens. As our name describes, Live Earth means healthy soils. Live Earth products are humic and fulvic soil amendments and are all natural, organic, and directly from our family mine in Utah. Live Earth products are easy to apply and the results will blossom right before your eyes. Live Earth products can be applied throughout the growing season. So pick up Live Earth Humate Soil Conditioner and Liquid 6 Humic Acid at your local garden center or on Amazon. Also available through our website, liveearth.com. That's livearth.com. Live Earth, here to bring vitality to life in your garden.
When a family of fruit flies accompanies the fresh fruits and vegetables from your garden, you need rescue fruit fly traps. Rescue fruit fly traps use a food-grade lure that fruit flies can't resist, and thanks to their no-tip design, you won't have to worry about spills on your kitchen counters. Get rid of fruit flies fast with Rescue Fruit Fly Traps. Made in the USA by the makers of the popular Rescue Fly and Yellow Jacket traps. Learn more at rescue.com. That's rescue.com.
Dripping Springs Oyas clay pot irrigation solves the watering needs for gardens, bushes, new trees, and more. An ancient irrigation system we brought to America. Dripping Springs Oyas, OLLAS, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Check us out.
Wind River Chimes creates a symphony in any space. Chimes that are inspired by nature and designed to make the natural world even more inspiring. Music speaks to everyone. Individually handcrafted in Virginia for over 35 years and hand-tuned for an exceptional precision and lasting beauty. Because in life, the winds of change are always moving. But no matter where they carry you, Wind River Chimes will always be the inspiring harmony. With a large selection and customization options, you will find the sound that soothes you. Visit windriverchimes.com to shop and find out more. Dig planting holes from a comfortable standing position. Step, twist, pull, and plant. Visit ProPlugger.com.
The Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show is brought to you by the following: Happy Leaf LED, Root Maker, Jung Seeds, Tree Hugger Sprinklers, Verlo Mattresses, Farmer's Defense, Pomona Universal Pectin, Natural Green Products, Mantis Tillers. Find all sponsors at the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com and thank them for their support. Welcome back to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show. Happy that you are with us today. Thank you so much for that. Before we get into the history of ketchup, first we need to tell you about our good friends at Farmer's Defense and what they have available for you.
Farm and garden in the ultimate comfort. Farmer's Defense has lightweight and durable sleeves made to protect you against the elements while farming. Farmer sleeves offer unparalleled protection of arms and skin for any farmer, gardener, or outdoor worker. Say goodbye to irritated skin and sunburns in their garden. Their sleeves offer cooling comfort and protection against the elements outdoors. An alternative to thick clothing. Farmer's Defense is made of wicking material with UBF protection factor 50+ to protect you from allergens and scratches. To find all their great products and more, visit farmersdefense.com. Well, Joey, we're going to talk about a very popular condiment.
Well, it's not what it once was.
Nothing is what it once was.
So the history of ketchup, we've got a short segment, or only a short amount of time in this segment to talk about. This is like an hour-long History Channel, what food once was and what is now today type of thing.
Absolutely. And I think that it's kind of a neat history in the way that tomatoes were originally thought of poisonous because tomatoes are part of the nightshade family. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people thought that they were poisonous. So this has an interesting history because it didn't stem into tomato-y something until it got to America, and we'll get into that. So it started in China, the concept of ketchup. You can kind of do more research on your own if you want to find out about how the word ketchup came about. But as far as a condiment, it was based from fish or oyster-based sauce with some sort of vinegary or like a white wine base. So it had that tanginess. But
it wasn't from tomatoes.
No, it was not. So it
basically
was like
from a seafood.
Yeah, it was like
dressing,
a tangy fish spicy sauce. And so then as it moved on to England, I can't talk, England. And so that's another thing to note is when it was in Asia, it was distinct from soy sauce. So there was soy sauce, which has been around, which is a fermented sauce. This was not a fermented sauce. So there was that that difference. So then in England, there was the very first published recipe for ketchup, and it was described as a thin mixture of vinegar, white wine, anchovy, shallots, lemon peel, horseradish, and a pestle of spices. And this was published in a magazine called The Complete Housewife. And it's just saying that...
In 1727.
1727. So some sort of publication. Yeah. So that was the base. And it's very much the base of ketchup now, with the vinegar or white wine, and then also not necessarily horseradish, but a lot of ketchup has... Yeah, or anchovies. But a lot of ketchup has things like garlic or onion, some sort of that spice in it, and then other spices. So it started very similar to what it is now in the culinary sense, but then it's evolved. And the ketchup became a catch-all name for basically some sort of vinegar based sauce with spices and a base. And at one point they used kidney beans.
Okay.
Do you want to make kidney bean ketchup?
No. Well, I mean, what else can we put in here?
Well, the reason why is because many years ago, you had limited access to certain things.
Correct.
So if you had a bunch of kidney beans, you could
convert them to some type of a sauce.
Let's make this into a sauce.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe you didn't have, lemon peel that week or whatever, and so you used kidney beans.
Right.
I don't know.
But for people who don't like horseradish or are allergic to seafood or anchovies, back in that day, I guess, I don't know if allergies was a thing, or you just ate it and you fell over dead and they kicked you to the curb and figured, well, something wasn't right.
I think that's what happened. Yeah. You were like, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Not. Yeah. I guess you just didn't enjoy it. I'm sure that there were allergies, but like you said, if it was extreme, then it was extreme. I don't know.
Well, it came in the early 1800s is the next journey in this ketchup history.
Yeah, so this horticulturist added strained tomatoes to his vinegary concoction. Yeah, he had tomatoes, and he was like, let me just add those in there. And
at this point, they realized tomatoes were not poisonous.
Yeah, but they called them love apples. And I think you and I talked about that at one point in one of our shows, but we'd have to look that up. So... Then in America,
yeah,
they added sugar to it,
right?
Because sugar needs to be added to everything in America, and this happened after the Civil War when the trades opened up. They had access to sugar. Sugar decreased in price because they could get to the Caribbean,
more international
travel, trade, what have you, and so they added sugar, and then it became this tangy, sweet taste because they added more sugar, they added more vinegar, they had the tomatoes, they perfected, I guess, what you would call is ketchup now at this point, and it became very popular. And then capitalism came in. And capitalism enters the room. So in 1876, this German American named Henry Heinz came along and started bottling this up and selling it. And the funny part is that you know how it says like Heinz 57, the 57 varieties?
Right.
It was just an arbitrary number.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like, that's a good number.
So it had no significance whatsoever. No value.
No.
Because I know in the advertising world, now this was in the late 80s and in the early 90s, in NASCAR there was a Heinz 57, or there was a Heinz ketchup car, and they specifically wanted the number 57 to correlate with the brand. But it's just a catching, it's just like a WD-40 type of thing. I'm sure there's some significance there, but it's a number that becomes recognizable to the brand.
Right. And so, I mean, obviously there's a bajillion kinds of ketchup now. But at the time that was the main one,
right.
The only, whatever. But I think it's kind of funny that he just said, he advertised.
Pick a number.
It was for the fact that he bottled up a bunch of different condiments, and then he said 57 varieties was just a number that he picked because he thought it sounded good. And by 1900, they were selling more than 60 products. Mm-hmm. So maybe like in his head, 57 was his goal, and then he surpassed it.
Well, some people have unique favoritisms towards certain numbers.
I mean, I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You don't?
No, I don't. No, not at all.
Somebody asked you your lucky number, you wouldn't name a number?
No, you create your own luck. You work hard to make things happen.
I'm not not saying that you don't create your own luck, but if somebody said pick a number, what number do you always pick?
Well, it depends on what the range they want me to pick from.
Okay, any range. What number
I
would you
don't have one.
You don't have one?
No, I don't have one. No.
No? No, like 112?
No.
No 85?
No.
No.
No. What's yours?
I'm not telling you.
Oh, okay.
It's my lucky number.
Oh, it's that. Okay.
It's 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that has brought us so much value and wealth that number.
I'm not saying that it's like lucky per se. It's just like my default.
You can only have 3 one time there, ma'am.
I have other numbers if I need more than one digit. Okay.
Okay.
But that's my standard. So anyway, yeah, Heinz capitalized ketchup and did the 57 varieties. And now here we are today. I know for me, I like the
Well, that's the thing. Now there's a handful. I mean, that's your big one. There's a handful of other ketchup manufacturers now. I don't know the number or how many of them are tied into the same corporate owner that just puts out 6 different brands, but the big boy owns all of them. But a lot less sugar. They're sugar-free or organic or not, no corn syrup in them, flute, whatever that is. There's much. One size doesn't fit all when it comes to ketchup, like maybe it once did in 20 or 30 years ago.
I think so. I think there was, 20 or 30 years ago, there's probably just your 2 or 3 main brands. There's like, the Heinz, the Hunt's. There's another one, Red Gold. Mm-hmm. And then there's probably some off-brand or whatever.
The store brand. But now there's a lot of ketchup. And I know for me, I personally like the stuff that's made with cane sugar versus the high fructose corn syrup. Right.
I can't talk. And it has nothing to do with quote-unquote health. It has to do with the taste.
Right.
But you grew up eating homemade ketchup.
Correct. Yeah, homemade ketchup, which doesn't have... It was more of a runny ketchup. It wasn't that firm, it's made a pile and you run your French fry through it and it stayed firm peaks, like you would make a pie, or what do you call those, whipped cream pies or coconut, a firm peak.
What about, what now?
The ketchup, like the store-bought ketchup, you can put a pile of it on a plate and it's going to stay in the shape you basically poured it.
Kind of, yeah.
Homemade ketchup, the one
It's very runny.
It's very runny. What I grew up with, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't care for it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you didn't care for it because we made it with cinnamon.
Clove.
Yeah. It got a little bit better when we didn't add that portion.
Yeah, that's true. But still, I don't know. I think I just like the store-bought manufactured ketchup. I don't know. Are you going to make ketchup ever again?
Well, we'll make ketchup again, yeah.
All right. Well...
now that there is so many publicly available varieties of tomatoes, you got your Cherokee purple, you've got your giant white, you've got your yellow tomatoes. I'm sure somebody's listening. Maybe if you've done this, let us know at gardentalkradio@gmail.com. If you've grown, 70 plants of one variety and made ketchup, purple ketchup or white ketchup or, yellow ketchup with those particular varieties of tomatoes. I'm sure it can be done.
We did that. We did yellow ketchup.
We did. Yeah, I remember yellow ketchup. Yeah.
We never did purple.
No, or white.
Or white. White would probably look kind of weird.
But also, it depends on each type of tomato has its unique characteristics and the amount of sweetness or what it's best to use for. There's some tomatoes that would not be good to make sauce out of because it doesn't have the juices and the characteristics that you would need for a sauce tomato.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess for me, I don't mind the homemade ketchup, like you said. It's just not the same as, you have this, when you put it on like a hot dog or something, it's a little bit different. But dipping was good. Yeah.
So with that being said, if you want to control the beetles and grubs invaders without affecting the rest of your ecosystem in your yard, then Grub Gone and Beetle Gone are the solution to your problem.
Phylums Grub Gone and Beetle Gone target a wide range of invasive and destructive beetles, weevils, and borers without harming non-targets such as bees, ladybugs, butterflies, earthworms, or other beneficial insects. You can purchase these products locally in Massachusetts at Ward's Nursery, McHugh Garden Center, and Hyannis County Country Gardens. In Connecticut at Van Wilgen's Garden Center, in Maine at Salisbury Organics, In New York at Fadigan's Nursery and Ohio at Berlin Seeds. Phylum Bioproducts target the pest, not the rest. PHYLLOM bioproducts.com.
When we come back, Erika Nolan will be with us. You're tuned in to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show.
Have a garden question? Give Joey and Holly a call now or anytime 24/7. Just dial 1-800-927-SHOW. If you can't get through, leave a message and they will call you back. Call now 1-800-927-SHOW.
Blue Ribbon Organics, providing locally made organic compost and soil blends for gardeners, farms, landscaping, and more. To find our products nearest you, visit blueribbonorganics.com.
Garden like a pro in 3 easy steps and receive customized fertilizer recommendations for your garden or lawn. Soil Savvy helps you determine what nutrients your plants need to thrive. Never again over-apply nutrients they don't need. A patented process that makes you a smart gardener. To get your soil test kit, go to mysoilsavvy.com.
Worried about watering too much or too little? Tree Diaper technology is the best way to stabilize your soil moisture in your garden, trees, or houseplants. Use coupon code GARDEN15 to save 15% off at treediaper.com.
A non-selective herbicide that is USDA certified? Yep, No More Weeds by Naturally Green Products. The same great company that brings you No More Bugs. No More Weeds kills weeds with no harsh chemicals and no glyphosate. No More Weeds is a commercial-grade vinegar base with a proprietary sticking agent. Great around pools, decks, patios, and more. Visit natgreenproducts.com. Free shipping on orders over $50 using code FREESHIP4ME. Fleet Farm has everything you need to get ready for the canning season. Pick up all your supplies from start to finish as you begin to harvest your garden. Choose from an assortment of jars, strainers, racks, and funnels. Plus, check out the wide selection of mixes, sugar, vinegar, and more. Get what you need for your everyday life, including canning, at new, lower prices. Fleet Farm and fleetfarm.com. Deer Defeat is an all-natural based animal repellent to keep deer and rabbits away from your valuable plants that is odorless after 30 minutes and dries clear. It creates a continuous, invisible shield to protect your plants. Works for 30 days through rain, snow, and freeze. Will not clog your sprayer. Apply to your property without environmental damage. You can spray directly onto your plants up to flowering, then apply around your plants to continue protection. No need to reapply. Money back guarantee. To purchase, go to deerdefeat.com and use coupon code RADIO to save 10% off your order.
Tree Hugger sprinklers are the ultimate watering device for either your newly planted or established trees and shrubs. Our sprinklers open and close around the trunk of your tree and provide 360 degrees of watering. With our adjustable valve, you can direct the water to your tree's targeted saturation zone. They come in 3 sizes, 7, 11, and 15 inches. You can purchase a Tree Hugger sprinkler at your local garden center, feed store, or hardware store. Go to treehuggersprinklers.com to find a retailer close to you. Or you can buy it directly from Amazon or treehuggersprinklers.com. If you're an independent nursery, garden center, hardware store, or feed store, you will want to stock this product. Contact the good people at Tree Hugger Sprinklers and they will get you set up. Your tree's best friend. treehuggersprinklers.com. The Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show is brought to you by the following: Dripworks, Rise Gardens, Grip 6, Bloomin' Easy, Fleet Farm, Waltons Incorporated, Blue Ribbon Organics, Tree Diaper. Find all sponsors at the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com and thank them for their support. Welcome back to the Garden with Joy and Holly radio show. Rise Gardens, Holly, a product in which you can have in your home that you can harvest vegetables year-round.
Rise Gardens is a revolutionary hydroponic gardening system for your home. Instead of food traveling hundreds or even over 1,000 miles before it hits your plate, harvest the veggie, herbs, and greens you need for dinner tonight in the comfort of your home. No green thumb required knowledge. Gardening made with easy with the Rise Gardens app. Step-by-step guidance from seed to harvest. A complete garden on a shelf, and it comes with everything you need to grow healthy and freshest food for you and your loved ones. Fully customize your garden to your needs and preferences. For more information, get your Rise Garden at risegardens.com.
Hello, let's go to the hotline and bring in our guest for this week.
Erika Nolan is a licensed landscape horticulturist, the founder of Instar, providing holistic health and homestead consulting and education. Welcome to the program, Erika.
Thank you, Holly. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we thank you for your time and about the education you're about to share with us. And I'll start with this. I think there's a misconception about holistic health. Please break down that for us. What is that misconception and how can you correct it?
Well, I think the problem with the misconception is there's so many definitions of health, right? Like you have mainstream doctors telling you one thing, you hear a bunch of other things online. And so it gets really confusing as to figuring out what is health. And holistic, the word holistic stems from just the whole body. And so the way I view holistic health is I'm looking at the whole body, and I'm also looking at what that whole body has evolved to be for hundreds of years, hundreds of thousands of years. As long as man has been alive and has evolved, what has health looked like? And so when we look at different illnesses or allergies or dental decay, all of these things have a root problem. And a lot of it has to do with diet and how we eat. And no, that doesn't mean eating a bunch of kale salads. A lot of it has to do with our lifestyle and the toxins that we absorb through our water or our air, or even just through stress in our environment. And so the purpose of holistic health is to really get in line with how nature designed us. And I mean, there's so many rabbit holes you can go down within this one topic. But I think that's probably the best generalized answer I can give you on my definition of holistic health.
Right. And there's science, and then there's government science. And then
there's like kind of big pharma science
right
too, where,
yeah.
What do we need the science to say in order for us to make X amount of dollars?
Right. And government science and pharma science are, in my opinion, go hand in hand. The science that I tend to gravitate to is the science that is often hard to find, or that is not blasted on every mainstream
because it's not popular
news channel or doctor's office. It's going against the grain because there's a reason why we're even in the place that we're in right now to discuss what is holistic health.
Well, that, and just there's also, like, I would call it diet culture science or snake oil science, where they sell you this hot new fad diet, and a lot of doctors are in line with that, unfortunately. And I can speak for myself. I am a heavier person, but once I started focusing more on what I was nourishing my body with and moving my body, my labs are better than they were 10 years ago when I was on the diet roller coaster. So,
yes.
So there's,
and it's not even about, this like model picture that we've been given. Like, you can be any body type, and as long as you're nourishing your body and not over toxifying your body, you can be in, like you're saying, in some of the best health you can be. But there is this psychological component, and Hollywood and this perfect image has definitely played a role with that.
Well, there's called the farm effect. Kids who have been out in nature all their lives have less symptoms or allergies than those who have been confined and forced medication in order to help with those problems. So, there's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah, I think, one of the most basic concepts that makes sense to me about this upside down world of medicine is that, thank God we have modern medicine for acute problems like a snake bite or a gunshot wound or getting hit by a car. That's essential. We need modern medicine for that stuff. And that's how it all kind of started to stem from having, medicine during war. But the fact of the matter is that for chronic illness, it just doesn't work. And it's not a financially sustainable model for just acute treatment. That's where the chronic treatment comes in. And that's where we get on this hamster wheel of upside down health, basically.
I couldn't agree more. So speaking of holistic and organic gardening journey, what inspired your holistic and organic gardening journey?
It's amazing that we've already tapped into such a weighty topic, because this is kind of what started it for me. My mother had a brain tumor and had to get that surgically removed. And that process was decent. I certainly was scared that I was going to lose my mom, but she was in really great care. And that problem seemed to be remedied pretty quickly. But then 6 months later, she got breast cancer. And that was a whole nother experience, because after she had a double mastectomy, she was in the hospital, and right after she came out of surgery, she was offered a Sprite and this mushed beans. I think everyone probably listening knows someone that's been in the hospital and seen what hospital food looks like. And that was what I saw as like her immediate recovery when she first came out. And I realized this is just not right. Like, what we eat has to matter, We didn't evolve to get to this point where we could like cheat the system and cheat nature. And of course, at that point, then I started questioning, well, like, why did she get cancer? Why is cancer so common? Like, it doesn't make sense that we've evolved these 200,000 plus years if everyone just died at age 30 of cancer and chronic illness. It doesn't make sense. And so this is really what started this journey for me to look into, well, what is this all about? And the first place I looked to was just growing food. I figured, fresh grown vegetables surely has to play a part. So that's where I really started to dive into this world of horticulture.
Well, and I've heard it from several people online, and you believe what you want. We, as a society, as humans, we were healthier and ate better 100 years ago and smarter than where we are today with technology.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. And we have the studies to see it. We can see that humans, even 50 years ago in remote areas of the world, did not need to have their wisdom teeth extracted. They did not have allergies. They did not have any breathing problems because they had perfect dental arches and wide structure and strong physique, just physically. And you could look at people from, 2 different islands, and they would have these similarities. And it was all because of their ancestral, holistic approach to life.
And also 100 years ago, if you didn't work hard and get what you needed, you died. There was no go to the grocery store and get a can of beans.
Yeah.
You had to put it up. Talking about growing your own stuff, most people who homestead kind of learn as they go. Tell us about what you do with your homestead counseling.
So what I do is I take out the trial and error factor. And I take out the guesswork, and I am with the client one-on-one from the very get-go. We look at the space, we talk goals, and I can design the garden with them. Once we come up with like the dream vision, we plug in a budget. We look at what the execution would entail. And so if they need to stage things out, they can. I give them step-by-step instructions. I work with contractors if necessary. Or if someone wants to DIY everything on a budget, we can do that too. So I am making sure that the foundation of the garden is set up right, because that's often where the loopholes lie. And once we have it built out, I go through seed starting, transplanting, maintenance, the whole process from the vision to harvesting and preserving. And I'm with the client one-on-one throughout that whole process, virtually all over the world.
So you take about 5 years of trial and error and say, don't do this, and get you started straight and save a lot of time, hassle, and aggravation.
Yes, basically 10 years. Everything that I've been through over the past 10 years in the industry myself, we skip that. And there's a lot that I've learned and have even changed within the past year of that 10 years.
Fantastic. So what are some tips for people who want to increase their homesteading but kind of feel stuck? They don't have space for animals or something a little bit more in depth, and they just feel like they're stuck with just gardening, canning, baking, making homemade meals. What's some simple ways for them to increase their homesteading capabilities?
Well, I would first just say that There are creative ways to incorporate animals. You can raise meat rabbits in an apartment. You can also raise meat rabbits in an HOA because they can be considered a pet rabbit. Rabbits are extremely beneficial, not a very common meat that we consume here in the US, but they're valuable. You can have an income with meat rabbits. It's a really cheap startup investment. And then chickens too. You can have just 2 to 3 chickens and you can start something really small on that level. So rabbits and chickens, I think, are a great way to level up the livestock segment of your homestead. And then other ways I would say is to look into what else you can do in the kitchen. Can you make your own sourdough? What about growing your own medicine? I think medicinal herbs is probably the most underrated plant that people could grow in the garden. Because truly, you can get, if you live a healthy lifestyle, a holistic, healthy lifestyle, then you can take care of yourself in just about any circumstance with medicinal herbs that you can grow in your garden in shade, nonetheless. And drying those herbs inside, using them for poultices, for skin irritations or wounds, or tea. I would say that it's the medicinal plants, and a lot of them are even culinary herbs that we don't even think of as medicinal, like cilantro, which is a great binder to toxins. So, diving into the world of medicine in your garden, plus the animals, I think are some of the uncommon ways that you can level up your homestead.
Well, you talk about rain gardens on your blog. Is this something anyone can do? Tell us more about that, or is there certain restrictions based on where somebody might live?
It does depend on your space. So a rain garden is a great solution to drainage problems. If you have water that sits up against your house, obviously that's not a good thing. So you want to create a rain garden to divert the water. Water is always going to move to the lowest point. So the purpose of the rain garden is to place it in a spot that is going to divert the water, soak in the water, and redistribute it to the water table below. And so how you go about doing a rain garden also depends on the amount of drainage you need to fix. So you could have just like a dip, a small little dip that's like 4 feet wide. Let's say it's a circle, 4 feet in circumference and maybe a couple feet down. That would be a really small rain garden. That might help with like a particular area. If you're trying to do some landscaping and you want to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone, you can do some landscaping in this rain garden and have water move away. Or you could do something more substantial, and that would something to that level might entail digging out 4 feet deep and then backfilling with a really sandy soil mix, and then having a 1 foot slope down to the center and filling that whole area up with plants that survive in drought and survive in extreme water. They're going to thrive in that little garden. They're going to make it look good, and you're going to have a drainage solution.
Well, a lot of information you provided us, and we could spend several hours talking to you about different rabbit holes we could go down. We thank you for the time. How can people find out more about you?
Instagram is my most active place online. So Instar Gardens, follow me. You can DM me. I have a link in my profile where you can schedule an intro call, which is like a discovery call with me. I'm on all the other platforms as well, but Instagram is where I'm spending most of my time interacting with followers.
Well, Erika, we thank you so much for the time and the education that you've provided, not only Holly and myself, but all of our listeners.
Oh, thank you, Joey and Holly. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And when we come back, it's Your Garden Questions, Our Garden Answers. You're tuned in to the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show.
Got a question for Joey and Holly? Send it via email anytime to gardentalkradio@gmail.com.
Pomona's Universal Pectin is a high-quality pectin that gels reliably with low amounts of any sweetener. If you're trying to reduce the amount of sugar in your diet, you'll love Pomona's Universal Pectin. Now you can make healthy homemade jams and jellies sweetened to your taste. You can use sugar or honey to sweeten. Pomona's Universal Pectin keeps indefinitely when stored in an airtight container. Easy to use, versatile, and comes with directions and recipes in every box. Find out more and where to buy at PomonaPectin.com. Also available at natural food stores and online.
Need a new mattress? Choose Furlow over the other leading brands and save big, really big. Because hey, nobody ever slept better for paying thousands more for basically the same mattress. Plus, with Furlow mattress, you also get our exclusive lifetime comfort guarantee. Good for as long as you own your mattress. Comfort to comfort, dollars to dollars. Compare Furlow to the others, and it's obvious. You get more bed for your buck. Wake up. Sleep better. Furlow.
Rootmaker starts your plants off right and keeps them going through harvest. From their seed starting trays with an innovative design that air prunes the roots to their large variety of grow bags, 1 to 60 gallons. Their products will provide you the harvest you've never seen before. Visit rootmaker.com and use coupon code RADIO23 to save 15% off your order at rootmaker.com. Chapin has the tools for planting your garden and keeping it growing all season long. Whether your garden is big or small, Chapin has sprayers and spreaders for fertilizing, weed, and pest control, watering, and seeding. You can find Chapin products at your local hardware store, big box retailer. You may visit them also online at chapinmfg.com to learn more and buy online.
Make watering easy. DripWorks provides quality drip irrigation supplies and equipment to gardeners just like you for all your growing needs across the U.S. and Canada. Purchase online at dripworks.com.
Jung Seed Company is a family-owned and operated gardening company since 1907 with the largest selection of seeds and plants online. Use coupon code 10TG23 to receive 10% off your order at jungseeds.com. Again, that coupon code is 10TG23.
Aqua-Mart.com has everything you need for eye-pleasing outdoor water features on your property. For over 25 years, we've been creating and field testing beautiful water features in order to provide you with the most reliable products and best value in the industry. From easy-to-install pond and water-filled kits to pumps, fish food, and more, you'll find everything you need to install and maintain a naturally balanced water feature in your yard. Make your backyard a true oasis and maintain it well. Visit aqua-mart.com to shop for all your needs.
The Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show is brought to you by the following: Chapin Manufacturing Incorporated, Aqua-Mart, Soil Savvy, Wind River Chimes, Wisconsin Greenhouse Company, Pro Plugger, Deer Defeat, Dripping Springs Oyas, Phylum Bioproducts. Find all sponsors at the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com and thank them for their support. Welcome back to the Gardening with Joy and Holly radio show. Thank you for being part of the program today. Happy when you join us. Keeps us company on the radio. If you've got a question, it's time for Garden Questions and Garden Answers. You send it on over to gardentalkradio@gmail.com and we will get you an answer. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Or you can give us a call toll-free coast to coast at 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469. This question, Holly, is sponsored by Fleet Farm and fleetfarm.com.
Yes, the question is, what is the best way to know when my sweet corn is ready to harvest?
Okay, sweet corn, you're going to have the ears being developed on the stalk, one or multiple. They're going to have hairs attached to the top portion of that ear. Currently, the ear, as they grow, the hair is going to be a transparent blonde-looking color. When the kernels on the cob are about ready to be harvested, that hair will turn brown to black. It will dry out. Each one of those hairs represents a pollination to a kernel inside that ear of corn. So what you want to do is once you see that brown hair, black hair, that drying out occurring, gently pull back a little bit of the husk. Touch it with your thumb or your finger, puncture one of the kernels. If the kernel liquid comes out in a milky substance or milky looking type of material, it's good to go. If it just comes out water, you're not good. It's not ready. Gently cover the exposed area back up the best you can. Wait a couple of days, try again, and then you'll be ready to harvest your sweet corn that you've worked very hard to grow.
Fantastic. So then we have
we've got a question here from John, who listens to us out of Denver on the Roar of the Rockies, KHNC 1360 AM. And he's got a question. We'll see if we can help.
Hey, my name is John, calling from Boulder, Colorado. And I wanted to ask about fire blight and and maybe another, I don't even know, maybe there's a second kind of blight disease that my fruit trees have. We have a fruit tree farm, and I'm using various products, copper fungicide, as well as, what is it? Monterey Farms has a really good product for disease control. I'm using a lot of different products. I'm not solving the problem. I think I'm occasionally keeping it at bay. My question is there anything else you recommend that I do to help my fruit trees with this disease? Mostly we're talking apples, some plum, some cherry, and a few peach. Anyway, thanks very much.
Okay, Holly, Boulder, Colorado, not Denver, but still Cage and see the Aurora Rockies out there, 1360 AM. It's got some problems with fire blight or tree blight.
Right. So what you can do is exactly what he's been doing, is using a copper fungicide, something made specifically for fire blight, something that is specifically made for that fire blight. You can find lots of products at your local independent garden center, and that's what you want to do. And then you would want to trim off where you find that blight. At this point, unfortunately,
there's no cure.
There's no cure. So you're just controlling it as best as possible.
The only cure would be the removal of the tree, and if that is even favorable conditions, if you have one or several trees that are infected.
He's got like 30 trees.
Right.
Yeah.
You spoke with him personally because we wanted to directly make contact with him and let him know what we know. But even if you removed all 30, that doesn't mean that another tree, several that you didn't know your neighbor had type of thing, could be infected as well. And then you plant a new tree and there's your problem again. So there you go. So just, it's a control, not a cure with the fire blight on trees. All right, let's go out to Western Pennsylvania. We've got a question and we'll see if we got an answer.
Hi, I'm calling from Sharon, Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania. My squash is not setting fruit. The zucchini, the butternut, and the pumpkin, not setting fruit. However, the South American zapallito is doing great. I just wondered why the squashes aren't setting fruit. Thank you. Bye.
Well, she's listening to us on WPIC 790 AM out there, and there's really one universal answer to this. It's the bees. For whatever reason, bees may choose to pollinate or only have the ability to pollinate certain squashes and not able to access the other squash. Like she said, certain squashes are being pollinated, other ones are not. So the pollination in this situation, the best scenario or the best solution is to physically go out there and hand pollinate. If you don't have the bees, number one, next year plan ahead, I guess would be the best. Try to find native plants or flowering plants that could utilize the habitat for bees that they would like in order to get them into your particular environment. But hand pollination is the answer to this situation. Why is some being pollinated and others aren't? It's the bees, and that's the best answer that we can come up with to why some is and some is not. So with that being said, Holly, we are out of time, and we thank you for yours. Miss any portion of the program today, would like to revisit it, you can certainly do that by sending us an email to gardentalkradio@gmail.com, and we will send you a link to the program. Or you can catch the program on our parent website under the Season 7 tab. That parent website is the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com, and you can check out past shows there. Tune into the program next week when we will be discussing bulb planting in the fall, as well as getting ready for fall garlic. It's a big time, and it's a very easy plant to grow, and we will walk you through the steps so you can have a successful harvest come next spring. Our guest is also Leah M. Webb, an author, gardener, and all-around family food enthusiast, will be with us. So until next week, for
Hi, Baird.
I'm Joy Baird, and we will see you in the garden.